podcast. I'm your host, Drew D. Alberto, from the beautiful Winners Award Group showroom here in Coconut Creek. And I've got a new friend with me today, Mr. Alex Moosey, who is the owner and founder of Party Fuel, which is a golf supplement. So, obviously, on this podcast, we talk about golf and business and networking, and we promote charity events. When I met you at Grand Oaks while I was at 6 Degrees and you were playing with a friend of the family here of Winners, Glenn Lautenberg or Lotenberg? Lotenberg.
Yeah.
I've heard it pronounced both ways, but I've never actually figured it out. So, thanks to Glenn, here we are. You've got this supplement. Why don't you give us a rundown on how you started this thing and what the motivation is and why would we want to use this?
Well, there's a little story on the website on why I started it. There's multiple reasons, but I was having the round of my life, 32 on the front nine, get to the back nine and completely blow up, shoot a 48. I was livid. And I got done with that round. I'm like, man, I take all these supplements for working out, for focus and energy. Grew up, had a little bit of ADHD, so I take a lot of like mushrooms, lion's mane, cordyceps. And I'm like, why not start something for golfers specifically? So that kind of really started the journey. I also saw a few of my friends have major success in the golf business. I always loved golf growing up. My dad was a huge golfer. He won the North Dakota State Amateur Championship back in the 50s.
So you're a North Dakota guy?
No, well, he was stationed there for the Air Force.
Understood. Okay.
And he took a chance and went out there and competed and won. I grew up around golf. I loved golf. I didn't really get into golf until my late teenage years, after I finished playing lacrosse, and that's really when the addiction started.
We know something about the addiction.
Yeah.
I get hives if I don't play.
Yeah, exactly.
Often enough, so.
Yeah, and I'm itching my neck. So, so I always wanted to make money in golf or some kind of sport. So when I came across my friends who had success in the golf world and in the business world, I was like, why not? I'm gonna go for it. So started the process about a year ago. And here we are. We're about to do our big launch in a couple weeks here, and we did a soft launch. We had a little bit of website stuff, but we're working on it, and we're really excited to get the product out there.
Every new business startup has growing pains. I get that. I mean, I've been involved in several, so I feel for you.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to use the game of golf to promote this thing because it's marketed directly to golfers. Does it have, and you said we should just go ahead and try it even though we're not playing golf, so we got a couple of bottles of water here. We just kind of take out the little single serving packets and dump them in there, I guess, right?
Course, yep.
Alright, so he's demonstrating here. This looks like not rocket science.
Not rocket science.
But
pour it in and just shake it on up, whatever way you want to do it.
I'm going to learn how to open a package. There we go.
So, the goal...
And now we're not playing golf. I'm not playing golf today. I got appointments and meetings and, lunch with my wife's side of the family for my sister-in-law's birthday, early dinner with them. So no golf for me today. So why are we drinking these now if we're not playing golf?
Well, it just... I don't know if you know anything about lion's mane and cordyceps.
Very little, so teach us.
So lion's mane really helps with mental clarity. Cordyceps also helps with energy and stamina. There are some recovery components to cordyceps mushrooms. And then you have your green tea extract, which is caffeine.
Okay.
So there's a lot of benefits to golf and caffeine.
Lower dose of caffeine in green tea.
Yeah. So
I know.
This is the equivalent to 2 cups of coffee. If you are you have a major reaction to caffeine,
drink half.
That's fine because we have a product in here. It's called L-theanine, which really calms you down, doesn't give you that jittery feeling, and those are the 4 main ingredients. And if you're gonna drink it during the day, that's fine. It'll help you focus with work. It'll help you in the weight room if you're gonna go and work out. So there's a lot of really good benefits to it.
And this is the Birdie Berry version. I just took a sip of it. It tastes good to me.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty picky with drinks. I mean, I I don't drink any Red Bull or energy drinks or any of that stuff because of the chemicals, right? I mean, it messes up my stomach.
Right.
So if this doesn't mess up my stomach, I'm the happiest guy ever because there's so much, and I know this from being in the supplement world. I shared that with you earlier today. There's so much crap.
There's a lot of crap.
I mean, you got to set yourself apart by doing it the right way.
Yeah. So we source these mushrooms from a really good, I guess, source, and that was my main focus. So I worked with a formulator, Steve, on the west coast of Florida. Ex-athlete, so he really understood, the importance of clean ingredients, and I was really harping on that and making sure that we put really clean stuff in here. We do have an artificial sweetener, but we are going to try down the road to get away from that. That's really the only,
I don't need the sweet. I'm already sweet enough, obviously. So
I knew that.
I could do without that. But so first thing. So how is it gonna help us when we're on the golf course? What's the big? I mean, you said caffeine has its benefits for golfers. Lion's mane, for energy. How is it gonna help us? Stay calm and focused and some of the things that you have on your website.
Right. So everyone knows when they're having a good round. I mean, you're seeing the putt line, you're seeing the ball before you hit it and where it's going to go. And we call that the flow state, right? So, I mean, that's with any sport. So this supplement really is going to help you get into that flow state and stay in that flow state. Obviously with that 32 to the 48, I lost focus. And so these ingredients, after trying multiple different variations of this, had the best effect for me. I've also sent it out to a bunch of PGA guys who have tried it, who also had very good experiences with it.
So you actually did almost a focus group of professional golfers.
Yeah.
How do you get to the professional? What's your in with them?
So
they're like, oh yeah, no problem. I'll try your Party Fuel.
So I did a pro-am at Pebble Beach. So we were there from 2021 was the first year I went with my friend Brixton. He owns Performance Golf, so he got the invite. And so I just, I'm personable. I talked to a lot of people and stayed in contact with a few of those guys. And when I got some samples, I was like, hey, can I send you this? They were like, absolutely.
Okay.
And one of the guys, Austin Eckroad, who went to Oklahoma State and has done very well on the PGA Tour, was like, I take a lot of energy drinks. I drink energy drinks before the round. He's like, sometimes I don't because I do get that shaky feeling.
Jitters.
So, I sent it to him and he tried it and he sent me back some really good feedback. And, hopefully down the road we can work something out.
That's really cool.
I had Cam Sisk, who was a 3-time All-American at ASU. He's currently on the Korn Ferry Tour. Unbelievable golf swing. Probably the purest swing I've seen out there. He just hasn't cracked into that next level, which he will. But he loved it. We had it last time I was there, this last year in November. He drank it when we were out there playing, and he had a great time, and he really enjoyed it. He's like, I need more of that stuff. So
interesting. That's really cool. Congratulations on the accolades. And you get professional golfers and maybe some even LPGA ladies. Because I mean, the sport has grown so much on the ladies' side that, and I know the world shutting down and the only thing you could do was play golf. Brought a lot of men, women, and children either back to the golf course or to the golf course. So, I mean, I think with a couple of right endorsements, it makes a whole lot of sense. What about private country clubs? I mean, you see this sitting in their retail space at their pro shop desk?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to see that. It would be great to walk into a pro shop one day in the near future and see some Party Fuel on the desk. That's the goal. We are starting online, but I'm talking to a few people about getting into some pro shops. So very excited about that.
We service at Winners Award Group 350 private golf clubs across the U.S. I mentioned to you our friend earlier, Jarrett Chirico at Royal Oaks Country Club in Dallas. He's the head of Racket Sports. but he has introduced me to some other heads of racket and golf. I mean, can you adapt this to like market it to pickleball? Like the hottest thing in the world is pickleball right now.
Of course, and okay. I don't know the numbers exactly, but I would assume that there's like 85% of pickleballers play golf. So it absolutely goes hand in hand.
Okay.
I've had tennis people be like, "Well, can I take it for tennis?"
And you're like, "Yeah, of course you can."
Absolutely. Anything that you're gonna do physical, this will work for you. But I am marketing it to golfers.
I get it.
And it was specifically formulated for golfers, but absolutely you can use it for tennis and pickleball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No problem.
Very cool. Very cool. So, I mean, this is a really cool idea. I think it's gonna work really well for you. I wish you all the best, and you know, we'll of course help you.
Yeah.
And you're, like I said, friends of friends of friends of the family. We're gonna be playing golf in a couple weeks. We just teed that up. Before we started the podcast.
Always got to get some golf in.
So give me and we like to do this often. Give us a really epic story on the golf course. And it doesn't have to be a great shot or a great hole or a great round. It could be a great relationship you made that turned into business for you or them or a friend. I mean, give us and you could give us one of each if you want, because stories sell everything. So
I would have to just go, I mean, my favorite person ever to play golf with was my dad.
Okay.
He unfortunately passed away in 2014, so I would say one of my favorite memories of golf was beating him. And I only beat him once, and the guy was 76 when he passed, and so he was a stud. And so when I beat him at Cricket Stick, his home course, it was like the best day of my life. So that was really special, and it came down to 18, and my dad was a trash talker, so got to 18, got on the green, and he's like, "That's a big putt." And I'm like, "I know that's a big putt." And, you know, it took a bad round for him and one of my best rounds at the time for me to get him, so
beauty of golf.
That one always sticks out for me. That was a special moment. He loved it. I loved it, because he never gave me that, you know, he didn't play down. He always was trying to beat me. He never wanted to lose, so getting him was fantastic.
Okay.
So that's definitely one of my favorite
I
memories.
Completely understand that, because I'm pretty sure, and Nick D'Alberto, my son, is here today at Winners Award Group watching this podcast live, and he's smiling and smirking back there, because when he beat me at basketball the first time, he was on cloud 11 or 12
I'm sure.
for at least a couple of weeks, and he still talks smack about it. So I'm pretty sure it's perfect timing for you and him to both be here today to tell that story. I love that.
I love it.
And then what about relationships? I mean, you already kind of keyed in on, you went to this, you know, the Pro-Am, and you made these connections with PGA professionals, maybe some live guys, maybe some Corn Ferry guys, and, you know, all of a sudden it's, hey, can you try my product? I mean, golfers and golf professionals, because golfers is 200 guys, golf professionals is 30,000+ across the U.S. and the PGA of America. From my experience, 95% of the time you're dealing with people that'll shake your hand, look you in the eye, tell you the truth, and do what they say.
Absolutely.
Which is really all I want out of my business and my friendships, but my business relationships. So how else have you used, and I mean maybe in a business before this, but how else have you used golf as a networking tool?
I mean, a lot. Just to carry on to your point there, golfers and golf and life they're correlated so well. You know, it's the stuff that you do in life when no one's watching is what matters. And I think on the golf course that is the same thing. If that ball is just on the other side of the hazard line, what are you gonna do? You know, are you gonna move it out, or are you gonna, you know, honor the game and hit that shot? So the guys that I like to be around are the guys that hit that shot and where it lies. So
you learn a lot about the people you play golf with.
Yes,
absolutely 100%.
Exactly. And so as far as like networking and stuff on the golf course, that's my favorite thing to do.
I knew we got along immediately for a reason. Now it makes sense.
You know, you get to do something you love, and then you get to spend 4 hours with somebody that you either know really well, or you don't know them, and you get to know them by the end of the round.
Sure.
I mean, there's a lot of time in golf. Hopefully you're not playing a 5-hour, 6-hour round, but those rounds happen, and what better way to get to know somebody than out on the golf course?
And I gotta just kind of add something that we talk about often on here, which is we don't really talk business on the golf course. You know, the common misconception is business gets done on the golf course.
Yeah.
Relationship gets made on the golf course.
Relationships.
The magic happens on the 19th hole.
Exactly.
Over a scotch or a cigar or some food. And then it's like, oh, yeah, you know what? We spent all day here hanging out.
Yeah.
And we never even talked about what is it that you do for a living.
Yeah.
And then you obviously can bring up Party Fuel, or I can bring up the On Par podcast, or Winners Award Group, or the things that I do in business. And you already like the person, so why wouldn't you want to help them?
Exactly.
And so let's talk about one more thing with Party Fuel.
Yeah.
If you want to buy Party Fuel, the website is live.
Yes, it is.
It's Partee, P-A-R-T-E-E, Fuel, F-U-E-L.com.
Correct.
You can buy it right now. It is available.
Yes.
I think you said you have 20 or 30,000 units in inventory ready to go.
We do, yes.
So parteefuel.com if you want to learn more about this product, and then if you want to get in contact with Alex.
Yeah.
How do we do that?
You can. So fresh social media sites, just Party Fuel on Instagram and TikTok. I'll have a Facebook page soon. If you want to reach out to me personally, it's A_Moosey25 on Instagram. And then, if you want to shoot us an email, it's info@partyfuel.com.
Okay.
And those are all the ways to reach out to me. I'm not going to give my cell phone, but
no.
If you want to call me, email me first, and I'll hit you.
I got your cell phone already, so I don't need it, so I'm all good there. But we didn't actually do a U.S. Open recap on the podcast. We missed it because Sean Kicker, my co-host, was unavailable. So I'll ask you if you would like to be my co-host now on the U.S. Open recap if you have a few more minutes.
I would love to.
So what was your takeaways from the U.S. Open as a golf fan and a good golfer and a guy in the golf business? What are your takeaways from the U.S. Open?
Love the result. Pinehurst #2 is freaking hard.
He said, stating the obvious.
It was hard to watch Tiger. His swing looks like it's there. It just the endurance and the leg is just.
There's not enough party fuel in that bag
to repair a foot.
To get rid of all the problems he's got with all the metal in his body at this point.
It is a shame, but I think he'll slap it around a few more tournaments, but I just don't see the longevity happening like we thought.
We talked about a couple weeks ago how, we all kind of feel like he's passed the torch to Scotty at this point.
Yeah.
Right.
Golly, Scotty Scheffler. He obviously had a rough week, but. Man, that guy's playing good golf. It's incredible.
I described it as that man is freakishly good at golf, and he is freakishly good at golf.
Yeah.
So, it's funny because the last couple tournaments before this one, we didn't talk about DeChambeau at all on the podcast.
Right.
We kind of forgot about him. And then I made the comment to Rich Rogers, who runs 6 Degrees Golf, and that guy has forgotten more about golf than I may ever learn in my lifetime. And I told him, and I think I mentioned this to you, I equated it to back in the day when WWF was really big and they had Hulk Hogan. He was the villain.
Yeah.
And then, he was the good guy. They made him the villain with the NWA, I think it was called, or something like that. And then he went back to being a good guy.
Right.
And Rich made the comment to me of, they're probably trying to get the live golfers to be more popular so they can get this merger done.
Yeah.
Because they want the best players playing the best players, because that's what the fans want.
Right.
Save politics and save the investors and save all the other stuff that they're arguing about in the world. A golf fan wants to see the best players all play in the same tournament.
100%. And that's what I think right now makes the majors so much, so special. For me at least, I don't know about other people, but being able to see Brooks Koepka, Cam Smith, DeChambeau, and those guys, and even Sergio Garcia, those guys playing in these tournaments again, I'm like, it makes the tournament so much better.
It's good for the sport.
Yeah.
It's good for the game. It's good for selling advertising. It's good.
Yeah. Right.
The fans get to see the best possible product. And every other sports league, I was telling my son about this yesterday, they've all gone through the merger. Right? MLB did it. NHL did it. NBA did it.
Yep.
They all did it. So it's inevitable that it happens. They just got to figure out how to come to some, let's leave the emotions behind and leave our hate of Greg Norman behind and let's get the best players playing each other.
And in the meantime, I mean, let's have a LIV versus PGA Tour battle. I want to see a showdown. I mean, that would be a Ryder Cup type event where you get all the best guys on LIV and all the best guys from the PGA Tour and just have them go head to head. Why not? I mean, that would be fun.
I freaking like that idea.
I mean, what are we doing? I mean, if we're going to merge, let's merge, but like, in the
meantime... Do you want to replace Jay Monahan? I'll vote for you right now. Let's go. Because he botched that thing as badly as possible.
Yeah, that's a whole nother story, but I mean...
We're not going to go down that road, but...
Yeah. But, I mean, it's just so much more fun to watch golf when you have all the best golfers in the world. And, we do the Ryder Cup, and that is so much fun. Everyone's, like, out of their minds, whether it's in Europe or it's in the United States. The fans go crazy. They love it.
Well, and now we got the Olympics coming up, and that's a whole nother conversation of who got snubbed and who didn't get snubbed, and obviously DeChambeau's at the top of the list of...
And Brooks Koepka, too.
And Brooks as well. So it's, you're not getting as good a product as you could possibly get, even in the Ryder Cup, right?
Right.
DeChambeau wasn't on the Ryder Cup team, and everybody argued that he was playing better golf than half the guys that made it.
Yeah.
So, what are we
doing?
You said, what are we doing here?
What are we doing?
Why are we screwing up the old school gentleman's sport that everybody that plays golf wants to see because of where the money came from or who doesn't like who or all these dumb emotional things?
Yeah.
Like, let's just get it right.
Yeah. I mean,
and credit to the PGA because they tried to get it right with the merger, even though it was money motivated and there was a hypocrisy to it. They finally came around, and then of course when the government gets involved, nothing ever gets better or easier.
Right.
But that's another conversation for another day. Maybe I could have Chris Eddy back on the podcast so I can get canceled. But. No, I mean, I was rooting... You said you were rooting for DeChambeau. I was as well, but I was also rooting for Finau because I like his swing.
Yeah.
And he just seems like a really cool guy. He's funny in interviews. I think he's one of the most underrated personalities.
100% agree.
Out there.
Family guy, soft-spoken, but, like, fierce competitor. I really like Tony Finau.
Who he reminds me of is Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
From the Spurs when he was winning championships with his 18-foot bank shots. Yep. And he had a boring game, but he was dominant, quietly dominant.
Yeah.
And Finau kind of soft-spoken like that. He's not the biggest gregarious personality, but he still has that it factor of
similar backgrounds too. I mean, Tim Duncan had a late start in basketball, and he just worked on his fundamentals. And Tony Finau was hitting golf balls in his garage later in life, and I mean, so
I tell my son at 15, like, learn to post up like Tim Duncan.
Exactly.
Learn to hit bank shots like Tim Duncan.
Yes.
He's big. He's 5'10" at 15, and he's got wide shoulders. Go post up like you're Tim Duncan.
Exactly.
And he passed from the top of the key. He passed from the foul line. I mean...
Yep. But if
he didn't score 35 points, but he got 20 points, 12 rebounds, 3 steals, and 4 assists. Yeah. And he, again, quietly dominant.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, it was a different game. Back then, but that's another.
You still got to mix some of the old.
You don't want me talking about the NBA because it'll be a bash session, and I'll be talking about how Jordan and Dominique was the last really amazing slam dunk contest, but that's another story.
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%.
So
being an Indiana guy, I mean, hoops.
You're an Indiana guy?
Yeah.
You grew up there?
Yeah.
Where?
Zionsville.
So I went to IU.
Yeah.
I graduated from Indiana University. I went there because they were dying for out-of-state students at the time, and they were dumb enough to give me an academic scholarship. I'm not even sure how that worked. I guess it's because I went to public school in Florida, so I didn't have to try very hard.
There you go.
But that's, we won't bash Florida schools that much, but sorry. But yeah, I mean, Indiana's a basketball school.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to be relevant in basketball.
Well, I'm sure you had a lot of pickup games in the Hyper.
I spent a lot of time playing basketball in the Hyper. I spent a lot of times, at games, and if you wanted to meet pretty girls, you were at a basketball game if you had any sense.
Yeah, of course.
So, it was the #1 party school by Playboy and the #1 business school by Forbes at the time.
Yep.
So I spent my 4 years in Bloomington separate. I had 6 months in the Netherlands. I did the study overseas thing,
nice.
but I loved it in Indiana.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to scrape windshield ice anymore and dig my car out of ice and snow.
I don't blame you. They also have a fantastic golf course down there. They just redid the school course.
You told me that when I met you the first time, and I didn't play golf. I'm late bloomer.
Yeah.
I didn't pick up a club till 36.
Right.
So I didn't play in college, and I missed out.
Yep.
So a good friend of mine, Brian Jones, that from college, he lives in Indianapolis now, and he coaches the girls' golf team at the high school that he works for.
Okay, great.
And he said we gotta go, so I'm gonna go.
It's unbelievable.
And maybe I'll call Alex and be like, hey, we're jumping a flight. It's time to go play the IU course.
I'm there. We'll
have to
such
an easy sell. Easy sell.
We'll have to play some other great golf courses down there. There's Sultan's Run. There's the French Lake golf courses. Victoria.
Twist
National.
my arm, glass.
I mean, it's
I'm in. I'm already in.
The Midwest doesn't get enough props for some of the golf courses out there.
Yeah.
They're just phenomenal.
Yeah.
But back to the U.S. Open. I think just watching the green complexes, and if you just missed in the smallest wrong spot, I mean, you're off the green by like 20 yards, or you're in a bunker that's extremely hard to get out. And if you miss the bunker on that rollout, I mean, you're in the
other bunker.
Sand,
bunker.
the sand with the crabgrass or whatever. So, I mean, that golf course, I've not played it, but I would love to. It just phenomenal. I think it sets up great for a U.S. Open. I mean,
I'm not playing there, man. I saw them drop a ball on the green and it rolled off into the water, and I'm like, I don't think I'm ready yet to play that.
I don't think
you could play it. I don't think I'm ready to play
if I played it in that condition, I would probably shoot 100. And I'm a two handicap.
Yeah, you're a two handicap. Like, you would shoot 100. So I'm in some obscene number that's like 20 more than that minimum, 20 to 30 more than that. So. And I'm a decent putter. That's probably the strongest part of my game.
That's all you need.
So, but I don't know, man. Putting on concrete. That's wild stuff. Yeah, glass.
Yeah,
basically
exactly.
Glass. So what else are you looking forward to with your business, with golf? I mean, what's on the horizon? I know you got the launch coming up in a couple weeks.
For the business, things are going to really start moving quickly. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a challenge, but always looking forward to a challenge. And just, growing the business and getting the right partnerships and, capitalizing on some of those people that I've met is going to be a real big focus for me. But as far as life, outside of work, I golf and I hang out with my girlfriend. So
okay. What do you and your girlfriend like to do for fun?
We just like to hang out, stay active, walks on the beach. We're not big drinkers, so we just hang out, stay inside, do cook together and all that good stuff. So
we could talk about cooking for a really long time. That's one of my favorite hobbies, as a matter of fact. Yep. So that'll give us something else to talk about at lunch today. But one other thing I'm looking forward to in golf, I'm the chairman of the 100-hole challenge for First Tee of Broward. Yeah. Are you familiar with this event?
I've heard of the 100-hole challenge.
So the way that we present it is, I tell somebody that I'm friends with that loves golf as an addict. We're all self-proclaimed addicts and well deserved.
Best addiction in the world.
How would you like to play 100 holes of free golf at a private country club for free?
I would absolutely love to do that.
So the catch is, you use it as a fundraiser for the kids and veterans in Broward County. We're going to be playing on August 9th, so it's going to be hot.
Okay.
But you can play in the morning or the afternoon. And You got to raise a minimum of $2,000. So you blast out an email to everybody and say, hey, I'm doing this crazy thing in August in Florida.
Yeah.
Coral Ridge, Reese Jones par 3. Beautiful course. Played it last year.
Yeah.
There's a couple other dates and options, but if you're game, we'd love to have you. And then if they say no, I say, well, fine. Would you like to donate to my page?
There you go.
And, you raise $2,000 or more. They also give you a Holderness and Bourne $500 gift card and some other swag that I'm working on through Winners Award Group.
Great,
so, if you're in for that, we'd love to have you.
It's the par 3 course?
It's the par 3 course.
100 holes?
100 holes
There's
at the par 3
There's got to be one
course.
hole in one on that.
I tell you, man, we had a couple people get really close last year. But
Never had one.
Didn't have one. I have not had one either. But when you do, we got a really nice hole-in-one display or a polo shirt for you.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm ready.
So that could be the day. Oh, we had a debate about that, actually. Because Lou and Nick Chiera, the owners of Winners Award Group, were debating on whether or not a hole-in-one on a par 3 course counts.
I mean, hole-in-one is a hole-in-one.
That's what Coach Sean Kicker said, and he was a head pro for a number of years, and now he's the director of First Tee of Broward.
Yeah.
So I go by Sean's answer because he's the golf professional, PGA of America, toured for a little while. I took his answer, which was your answer, and I said, the closest I've been to a hole-in-one. Nick was with me. He was driving me around at Hollybrook.
Okay.
Couple years ago. Hottest day in Florida in like 20 years. I was on hole number 96. I had nothing left in the tank. It was a 145-yard par 3 with the wind dead into our face. I was like, I don't even know what club to use anymore. I use a 5-wood because I'm swinging in slow motion at this. 96 holes.
Yeah, that's a lot of holes.
I came about 18 inches short, but I hit it right at it.
Oh my God.
If the wind was just a little less, it was, and I made the birdie, so that's on video thanks to Nick. So
how about this?
Tell me you were like a millimeter short or something.
I've dented cups.
Dented cups.
If I got a hole-in-one on a par 3 course, I wouldn't keep the ball. I would count the hole-in-one, wouldn't keep the ball. But if I get a hole-in-one on the actual golf course, that ball is going in one of those cases. And it will be mounted on my wall forever.
Look, if that ball went in, I was keeping that ball, and it was going to say 96th hole on the 100th hole challenge. Because I think that would have been more impressive than doing it in 18 holes. That was my argument.
Yeah, that counts.
And
you're playing that many holes.
And it's funny, because Lou and Nick are brothers, so they like to argue sometimes.
Of course.
And Lou said, nope, doesn't count because it's a par 3 course. And Nick said, I'll buy the hole-in-one plaque and the ball holder for you if it went in. So it was a fun conversation. I think we were cutting up about it for an hour and a half at lunch one day. Yeah. But I tell you, man, I'm glad to have you as part of the event. You'll join my team, and we'll go out there and have a great day.
Yeah.
And lunch is included. They got snacks and drinks on the course. It's a really fun thing to do.
I can imagine.
And on that note, check out partyfuel.com. Alex Moosey, thanks for being our guest coming up here.
Appreciate it.
And thanks to our sponsor, Winners Award Group. We'll see you guys all next week on the On Par Podcast. Thanks for listening.